want to start by telling all of you that as I was walking in here today, I fell. That's how tonight's going. My mom calls me Grace for a reason. I have none. Okay, as Aaron said, my name is Megan Lee. I'm 27 years old, just turned 27 in December. And yeah, I'm gonna start. Sorry, I'm really nervous.
Doing great.
Thanks. I feel like I can't. Okay. I was talking to my current boyfriend the other night about how I completely forgot that I paid my electricity bill last month. I told him how I freaked out and ran to the computer to make a quick payment to avoid the loss of service, and while doing so, I saw that I had already paid the bill. That's when the confusion set in. I don't understand how I can forget that I paid my bills, or how to get to a place that I've been several times before, or to do a school assignment that I've known was due for weeks. But somehow I remember vividly every single time my ex laid his hands on me. I can remember most of the details from the night in Richmond when I was raped, including what I was wearing. I can remember all the times I was called fat or shamu. And I remember the first time I ever cut myself, sitting on my bedroom floor with a horrible Taylor Swift song playing in the background. It was awful. Which one?
They're all awful.
They're all awful.
Take your time, Mom.
You good? Okay. I can remember the daunting and lonely feeling of severe depression, maybe because I've experienced it so often. I've always tried to fully embrace who I am as a person. Before I was called a fat girl, I called myself one to try to avoid the pain of others saying it. I was afraid to come out as bisexual in my hometown, and instead settled on a boy who hit me whenever I stood up to him. I stayed with him for years because I just couldn't build up the courage to leave. Fun story. I actually just recently found out that he had a baby, a boy, luckily enough. And I found myself wishing that it was a girl so that he could know what it was like to have a daughter, so that he would know what he's done to someone else's daughter. I immersed myself in sports and became as great as I could be at them, which was still never enough. I sucked up to the popular girls in school that used to bully me until I decided I finally fit into their groups. I was silent about my beliefs and my mental state for so long that I was convinced no one would ever bother to listen. The people I chose to surround myself with decided to ignore each sign that came their way. It's always easier to avoid a hard subject than it is to confront one. When I was 14 years old, I realized that I was depressed. I realized that I wanted to die each day more than I wanted to live. I had friends and family who deeply loved me, but I wanted to die. I didn't allow myself to get professionally diagnosed until about 3 years ago. I spent a long time self-medicating with alcohol and even dabbled in a few drugs, not like the really bad ones. Don't worry. But my drinking is what became the ultimate problem. Alcoholism happens to be prevalent in my family, and I somehow managed to catch a little bit of that bug. I always managed to keep a job, but my routine became set. Get up, go to work, come home, drink myself into a stupor, go to bed, then wake up and do it all over again. At least when I was drunk, I felt like I could feel a lot less. I dropped out of 2 colleges and became so mentally ill that I couldn't stand to leave my bed to shower, much less go to class. The schools seemed to make me sicker the harder I tried to succeed. I continued to see the ex that abused me because I was convinced that his abusive love was the only love that I would ever know. I moved around a lot. I switched homes as if the next one would cure my depression and anxiety. Pack up, get some new roommates, and hope for the best. It never worked, of course. I quit a lot of jobs, some for valid reasons, and others were just because I didn't want to do it anymore. Friends came and went, and the drinking kept on keeping on. I became someone that I never wanted to become, but I guess that was all a part of my process. In 2016, I was finally convinced to see a doctor, and a few things have been helpful since then. I am medicated happily, without the shame that I used to carry when the thought of medication would come up. I became more open about my illness in a self-proclaimed attempt to try to help others, but I think it was really to help myself. I believe that when people encounter me, they see me as a strong, resilient, determined person with some sort of magical powers to wake up and be well every day. But if you could see me, really see me, you would see an exhausted, forgetful, sleep-deprived, miserable girl with no earthly idea what the hell she was doing. I'm trying, though. I hope none of you came here tonight for a happy ending, because the battle that I am fighting is constant and never-ending. I feel sick almost every single day, and I struggle to drag myself out of my home and away from my super cute cat, just to attempt to be a productive human being. But most days I do it. The thought of dying is still there, but I'm not currently suicidal. I am continuing to see doctors in hopes of solving my continuing physical and mental health problems. I am showering regularly, keeping my home clean, and I'm about to start my second semester back in college. I am in a happy, healthy relationship with the best partner I could ask for. I have a wonderful group of friends, many who have been with me since the very beginning of all of this. My drinking has lessened to a dull roar, and I haven't allowed myself copious amounts of whiskey since last November. Just a little bit every now and then. I speak up about what I believe in, and I'm a fierce advocate for many disenfranchised groups of people. In my book, I'm doing all right. I've learned that mental health problems aren't something that go away. My diagnosis is here for a lifetime, but at least now I know that some people out there really can see me and that I'm not alone.